We clear, ready to transmit. Pro fan hoops on the court, we got the game lit. Not talking highlight reels just for the common glance. We talking dedicated skills, taking every chance. From logo threes to rebounds, Chicago got the me-bounds. Asia got 3 chips, Las Vegas Aces in the town. You tune into the channel if you want to get the facts. Women's basketball is fire, no need to relax.
What's going on, y'all? What is the deal? What's happening? We are doing another Simulstream. That means I am broadcasting live on Pro Fan Talk. I am broadcasting live on Pro Fan Hoops, all at the same time. Been a crazy day, man. I've been meaning to get to address the, my reaction to the WNBA news with Alyssa Thomas getting suspended for 1 game. Talk about what happened with Caitlin Clark and all that type of stuff. Then I got busy, had to go out, had to come back, and just didn't have time. So I was like, you know what? We got the technology. We can make it happen. So I'm just going with both. It's all good. But we're going to talk to the WNBA stuff first. Then we're going to transition into the Eagles. And we gonna let it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. But, everything's on the table, man. If you want to talk Eagles, if you want to talk World Cup, if you want to talk the WNBA, if you want to talk the Phillies, if you want to talk the Sixers, everything's on the table tonight, man. We getting it done. We getting it done, man. So what's up, everybody jumping in the chat? Daniel Berry Sports, you first out the limo, bro. I appreciate you. Art, you number 2. Little Griffiths is number 3. Afrado, you rounded up. You back and clean up, bro. I appreciate you, man. You think so? You think so? We'll see. We'll see. Not if he want to win. Hopefully he kind of sitting in the cut and watching how things happen, and just at the end of the day, everybody think they know better, but they don't. But you know what? If he got to go through his growing pains, so be it. It is what it is. But we shall see. We shall see. But first, let me get into this. Let me say what's up. Carlos, what's going on, my dude? Pro Eagles Hoops fan talk. We getting it in, bro. We getting it in. Can you relate? What's good? What's good? We're going to get into that in a second, man. I'm going to leave this up because I'm going to address that. I'm going to address that because that's where my head's at right now. That's where my head's at right now, man. The real question is, does the suspension send a message to the players about dirty plays? I don't know yet. But I don't like the fact that the WNBA had to be in this situation. Engelbert, the WNBA, the powers that be, they had to respond. That's not the place you want to be. You want to be proactive, not reactive. And the past 3 years, the WNBA has been reactive to all of this. Now, the first 2 seasons, you can give them a pass because they've never been here before. They've never been to this level of attention. It didn't exist. Even when in the beginnings, when they were filling arenas. Because let's not get it twisted. When the WNBA first started, they were filling arenas. They had a good fan base. They were fresh off the Olympics. Everything was working. And then when it plateaued, that's when you needed cable television and ESPN and all of that kind of stuff to fill in the gaps. And they never got that. I didn't want to have to do a video. I remember seeing a video document of the guy who basically shut down the WNBA. He was an executive for ESPN, and he did not like it one bit, and he went out of his way to make sure that the WNBA was not on television. And that is when it was just beginning. So because of that, in my opinion, because of that, they only got to a certain level and they were just struggling to keep their head above water year after year after year. When if they had been on ESPN or one of the other channels that, you know, it got to a point, cable had a bajillion channels. And if they just could have got some publicity somewhere and every now and then get a game, get a playoff game or all-star game or something on ESPN, it would have helped tremendously. But whoever this dude was, I'm going to find out his name, whoever this dude was, did not want women's basketball. He wasn't shy about it. I got to find this article. He was not shy about it. He actively was seeking to end it. That's how much he hated it. And I'm saying that to say, if there would have been somebody that had just as much power that could have, fought that off, maybe the WNBA would be in a better situation. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't do nothing but rhyme, and we are here. Now, as far as what happened with Alyssa Thomas, was that enough? I was thinking about that, and I don't know. I'm going to say yes. And the only reason I'm saying yes is because for this reason right here. Normally, it's really not about sitting out games. It's about how it hits you in the pockets. And this is something that we have to consider. Now, this is not a right or wrong thing. This is just how I see it as the facts. That the WNBA, as it exists right now, are neophytes in this level of attention, in being a mainstream sport and having millions and millions of people watch your broadcast. Now you doing numbers that rival the WNBA and MLB and NFL and every other sport that they televise. Now WNBA is up there. Now, if people still want to argue it's because of Caitlin Clark or not, y'all go ahead and do that. That's already settled in my mind. But everybody got their opinion. But in any case, the WNBA is up there. So now they're making more money. So now they got this attention. All eyes are on them. And now they are at a situation where whatever they do with Alyssa Thomas, they are setting a precedent. They are setting a precedent. If you do this in the future, you will be suspended. They should have done this 2 years ago, but they didn't. They should have done this with Angel in Caitlin's rookie year, but they didn't. They swallowed. They let the refs swallow the whistle. Did I think it was getting too rough? No, because I went back and watched some of the old games and how they played and everything. It's not anything new. However, they did not consider the optics, in my opinion. They did not consider the optics that people would just look at it and was like, well, ain't you going to call a foul? It's getting a little bit too much. People, in my opinion, people were getting a little bit, they were getting away with too much. And the refs weren't blowing the whistle. And I think, again, this is my opinion, this whole situation, even everything that happened with Alyssa Thomas, yes, she should have been suspended. Could it have been 2 games? Yes. Am I good with 1? Yes, because it hit her in the pocket. Because if you look at Alyssa Thomas has got like a $3.5 million contract. So roughly, I'm going to guess, and I don't know. I'm guessing, right? If you take if normally at the pro level, you don't get paid out yearly unless you ask for it. You can ask for it, but usually they pay you out during the season. So when you off season, you're not getting a check. So let's just assume that in the off season, they're not getting a check and you get paid in season. So, and honestly, I just typed it in and asked Gemini. And I said, what is Alyssa Thomas's salary? Her salary, she got a 3-year deal for like $3.5 million. So if you take her in-season salary, her weekly check for $1 million salary and only 3-4 months worth of work, her weekly check could be probably around anywhere between 50 to 65 grand. So let's just say it's 65 grand. I don't know if that's true, but let's just take that number. Okay. She's going to lose because she has to take a game off. And we'll talk about that in a minute. She's going to lose 65 grand. And I try to tell people this all the time. And this is when we get into the conversation of, hey, you used to play pro ball. What you do with all your money and blah, 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 blah. Thank you. Thank you. Mark Shapiro. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Mark Shapiro. I got to do a video about that guy. And I got to find that video doc again because that was very enlightening. But I don't care how much money you make. 65 grand is a lot of money. It doesn't matter that you make $1 million a year. 65 grand is a lot of money. No, you're not missing no meals. 65 grand is a lot of money. So it hits you in the pockets. Again, do I wish it would have been more games or something like that? Yes, but I can live with this. The reason why I think it should have been at least 2 games is because, in my opinion, based on the tape that I watched, that was calculated and premeditated. They were just waiting for the opportunity. And no, you don't have to, don't make it too complicated. Don't make it like they all sitting around a dark table and coming up with a master plan. No, it's not that simple. Not when you're talking about sports. Sports, you wait for an opportunity and you got a split second to execute. And then you do. Happens all the time. I've been a victim of that, or I've been on the receiving end of that. I've been on under piles and all of that type of stuff. I've had guys that tackled me low so I couldn't move, and then a linebacker came, hit me high, and cleaned my clock. I've had that happen. I had a linebacker hit me so hard in college and this was in camp. This was my own teammate. But this was in 2-a-days. We were rocking, and it is what it is. And the nose tackle grabbed my leg so I couldn't move. I couldn't get away from him. And the Mike linebacker was coming across. And all I could do, literally, and I remember this very vividly, all I could do was put 2 hands on the ball, and I braced myself, and I closed my eyes because I knew he was about to jack me up. And he cleaned my clock. It happens like that. But I'm saying that wasn't a dirty play. He was not trying to do anything. I've been in the games where I've been at the bottom of piles and people try to poke me in the eye. Them linebackers be spitting on their gloves and all of that kind of stuff. Then they rub it in the dirt. And then when you at the bottom of a pile, they trying to yank your face mask so they can strain your neck, or they trying to poke you in the eye, or what's the worst is they're trying to get underneath your face mask and stick their nasty gloves in your mouth. All of that stuff. So the stuff that goes on at the bottom of a pile in a quick second, it doesn't take long. Like I said, it's not a big wind up for an obvious, knockout blow. It's nothing like that. It's very subtle. It's very quick. It's a gut punch. It's a rabbit punch. Very quick. You got to be quick if you want to be illegal because you don't want people to see it. Now, one thing they do in the NFL is at every game, they review the tapes. There's an officials committee, I guess, that reviews the tape. And if they missed something during the game, the NFL will send you a letter and fine you. So yeah, you got away with it during the game, but this was a illegal hit. We saw it on tape, and here's your fine for $2,500. That's what the NFL does. We saw you in the third quarter. You got fined for you having your socks down, or a uniform penalty or something like that. They have people that watch that. So my point is, even after the game, they watch the game and they go over the stuff that they missed. And if they missed it and it was egregious enough, they will send you a fine. They alert the team. It goes out in the news. And guess what? They take your money. But the thing I want to highlight is they go that extra step to get it right. They go that extra step to make sure they caught you. You thought you got away with an illegal hit or a face mask or something like that, but you didn't. You thought you got away with that hip drop tackle or whatever the situation, or the late hit on the quarterback. They didn't call it in the game, but we got you. You still got fined 10 grand. So what you have to do at this level, now that the ladies are making this type of money, you got to hit them in the pocket. And they setting the precedent for Alyssa Thomas, and they hitting her in the pocket. One game really ain't gonna mean nothing. If you think about it like that, well, she got to miss a game. And the other part is what I wanted to get to is I don't like the fact that they can, at least I think, I could be wrong, but I think the team has a certain amount of time to pick the game that she's going to miss. And I'm like, immediately, if you suspend it, next game, you out. That's what I think should happen. I don't think that that's what's happening in the W right now. But small price to pay. But one game I think is good enough because it sends the message. Because it doesn't matter who you are. And you have to look at it in those terms now. Don't think about it in terms of games. Think about it in terms of they just took your paycheck. They just took your paycheck. Let me look something up real quick. I know what I'll do. We're gonna figure this out together. Check this out. Check this out. Timer, second screen. See, this is how you use AI. All right. Watch this. You are a WNBA. You are a WNBA official. How much money will Alyssa Thomas lose if she is suspended for one game? How much money will Alyssa Thomas lose based on her current contract if she's suspended for one game? That's how you use AI. Right? Her current 2026 contract, her following a recent Alyssa Thomas, CBA structure. Her base salary for the 2026 season is $1.2 million. All right. Defined calculation rule: a one-game suspension costs a player exactly 1/40th of their base salary, the fine total. Right? So loss per game. So roughly, approximately $30,000 a game. If Alyssa Thomas is suspended for exactly one game, she will lose $30,000 in withheld base salary. This total only accounts for her base game check loss. Depending on the reason of the suspension, triggered by 8 to the accumulated for, she would also be hit with the baseline technical flagrant fine, which would add an additional $500 to $1,500 to her total financial loss. Okay, so 1.2 a year. She's got a 3-year contract at 1.2 a year. So she's going to lose 30 grand. 30 grand. So that's how you have to look at it. Don't look at it as she lost the game. Look at it as how much are they fining her? Because that's really what it comes down to. That's really what it comes down to. They don't care if she misses the game in Portland or she misses the game against Toronto, because what they're going to do is they're going to let her choose which game. I think they're going to let her choose which game she misses. And my guess is she's going to pick somebody in the same boat as they are, not winning and all of that type of stuff. That the team's not really going to miss her. It really doesn't matter in my book. So, because the way they're going, they're not going to make the playoffs. So, but as far as the loss, the loss and the suspension is concerned, 30 grand. 30 grand. 30 grand is a lot of money, man. I don't care if you make 1.2 a year. I don't care what you make. Look at your base salary right now, right? Think of it like this, and this is how I look at it. Put it in real world terms. Whatever you make, if you making 60 grand a year, if you making 120 grand a year, whatever it is, just imagine if you got to give somebody 3 grand, $3,000, and you say, and they take it, and then they walk away, and you like, well, what is this for? Well, what are you doing? Well, no, you just give me the money, and I'm taking it. That's what a fine is, essentially. And to be honest with you, why do you think, even in the NFL, people think that, well, you make X amount of money a year, and this, listen, if you make $5 million a year and you go out and buy a $120,000 Hellcat, that's still a lot of money. That's still a lot of money. Again, you're not gonna miss no meals, and the house is paid for, and you good. Your kids ain't on the street, but don't get it twisted. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Remember that kid? They found that kid that pranked Shador Sanders during the draft, and come to find out that kid was the son of the Atlanta Falcons GM or something like that. And I believe they fined him 110 grand. Now, again, this guy probably makes a couple million a year, 2, 3, 4 million a year, whoever it is. But still, to just because your son was acting like an idiot, it's gonna cost you 110 grand or whatever it was. It was a lot of money that the dad didn't expect to pay for. So, and I'm saying all that to say, this is the best way to get people's attention that make a lot of money. And now this is the first year that these women are making this type of money. So yeah, I think the 1 game suspension was fine. I wouldn't have minded if it was 2, because 60,000 makes a bigger splash than 30,000. You know what I'm saying? So they're setting the precedent. Now, here's the other part of this. If the WNBA do not get these damn refs in line, it is all for naught, in my opinion. It's all for naught. Alyssa Thomas is notorious for how she plays. She is a dirty player. I thought that she should have been suspended for a couple of games when she slammed Angel Reese. And I said this the other day. I was not happy, but everybody got to do what they feel they got to do. Because if you remember, in that game, that was the second time she slammed Angel Reese. Because I think Angel Reese was getting the best of her in that game. And that was the second time she slammed Angel Reese. And she ended up getting suspended, or no, she got ejected. But in my opinion, she should have got suspended because that was the second time. And if you go back and watch that play, on YouTube and look how close to Angel Reese was for getting a serious concussion or something worse. Because if you remember, I can't remember if it was the first time or the second time. I know it could have been, she got up and she was blinking, and I didn't know if it was like her eyelash or something. But sometimes when people do that, that's when they seeing stars. You trying to readjust because you seeing stars. You got a concussion. I don't know if that's the case, but all I'm saying is she was very close to getting jacked up. Because if that girl falls a little bit harder on the back of her neck, or if you hit right back here on your head, that's bad business. Take it from somebody who has had concussions, multiple concussions. When you get hit back here, that's bad for business. And remember, Alyssa Thomas grabbed her and slammed her down like that while her feet were in the air. So that could have been real bad, but they didn't. And there were some other things. I remember, I can't remember, excuse me. I don't remember what her name was. I think it was Vivian's. She played for Seattle. It was their rookie year. And this is where I believe that people were targeting Caitlin Clark. It was her rookie year. And I guess Caitlin was doing her thing, talking her trash, hitting her shots and everything. And as they were going back, the girl hit her with a throat punch. And they never called it. You never heard anything about it. I remember watching that game. I'm going to go back and find that game. Because it goes back to, they've been doing this since she was a rookie. And let me finish making this point about Angel Reese. When Angel Reese got slammed, the one thing that bothered me was she wanted to chalk it up to, yeah, that's just AT. She's a veteran. I got to learn from them. And like, she gave her a free pass for that. And I was like, only thing I could do was just shake my head. And I was like, you just giving everybody a free pass to do what they want to do. That's how I saw it. Like, you don't kiki that up when that girl literally, and I know they don't think about it like that because they're young and they stupid and all of that type of stuff. But that girl literally could have ended your career right there on the spot. If you would have had one more, 1/2 pound of pressure more, and you would have flipped over 6 inches more, and you would have landed on the back of your head rather than your upper back. That could have been bad for you. And then after it, you want to kiki it up like, yeah, she's a veteran. I'm going to learn from them. I don't expect anything to, whatever it was she said. I was like, hell no. Hell no. I don't care if you're a rookie or not. That does not give anybody license to try to hurt you. And in my opinion, she let her off the hook for that. And it just continued. And they were doing more stupid stuff. And they wouldn't blow the whistle, and they kept doing more stupid stuff, and then they wouldn't blow the whistle, and it got to the point where it was just like, what are y'all doing? And then I had to go back. I remember I went back and I watched a couple of games that was on YouTube from like way back when Candace Parker was still in Chicago. And I was like, okay, this is how they get down. This ain't new. They play tough. They play physical ball. But what's with just letting them do everything? Just call the freaking blow the whistle. And now we back to the same situation again. The inconsistency. They could have nipped this in the bud if they'd have just blown the whistle 2 years ago and last season. And I bring up last season because Caitlin Clark only played 15 games last season before she got hurt. 15 games. And the refereeing and the officiating was still booty cheeks. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible last year. Nothing was consistent. That's, matter of fact, the only thing they were consistent at was being inconsistent. It was terrible. And now, this is what I thought they were doing last year. This year, they started off calling everything. Everything. You couldn't breathe without them blowing the whistle. And I was like, okay, normally what happens when they do that, they trying to get the players used to this is how we going to call it. And then somewhere in mid-season, they kind of loosen up a little bit and let the flow of the game go. But no, they went full tilt in it. But the problem was it was so unbalanced. This girl sets a pick and knocks somebody's down. No call. This girl sets a pick and knocks somebody's down. Foul. Well, they the same damn play. They the same play. This girl drives the basket. Caitlin Clark is sitting there with 6 inches of space in between her. They call a foul. Naz Hillman drives the lane, trips over her own feet. Foul. Michaela Onyenwere, she goes down. She does a soccer flop. Letitia Amihir did the same thing, I believe. Soccer flop. I chalk that up to them being from France. But to me, it was the obvious miss stuff. You can call a game tight. Just keep everything tight. Or you can call a game loose, but at the very least, call the obvious stuff, man. Call the obvious stuff. And then you looking at, and here's the thing that, and to me, again, this is where people just don't like Caitlin Clark, because Asia Wilson was bitching about the refs. Becky Hammond was going off about the refs. Sandy Brondello went off about the refs. Stewie went off about the refs. Kelsey Plum went off about the refs. Everybody's bitching about the refs. So it's not just one person. It's not just what happens in Indiana. It was everybody. And again, we're back in the same situation that across the board, the officiating is god awful. And now y'all messing with the money. Y'all messing with the money. Everybody will tell you how much they hate Caitlin Clark. Yet and still, when they played Portland or whatever that game that was, and they got 1.2 million views in the viewership. And it's like, y'all can say what you want. You ain't got to like her, but she can still be the number one draw. And I guess for some reason, the women in the league don't understand that. That's what it seems like to me. I know that's not the point for everybody, but at least that's what it seems like. So, let me see. Free passes is the issue. CC and AR or whomever continue to call it. Yeah, it is for what it is. And I saw a couple people on Twitter, and they literally said that, well, she need to call out her racist fans. And I'm like, no, because the only way you can, what's she gonna call out? And I talked about this last year, and I was like, I don't understand how you gonna do this. And the funny thing is, Stephanie White was the only one that said it right. Remember last year when Alyssa Thomas said something about getting getting hateful and racial stuff on social media. And I'm like, you cannot tell somebody what they can or cannot say, period. You cannot do that. Try if you must. You cannot do that. You can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. The only way to deal with social media is you don't deal with it. That's what Stephanie White said. You ain't got to be on social media. You ain't got to read every comment. You ain't got to. And I don't think Caitlin Clark, she one of them people where she big enough now. I got somebody that handles that. The two things that you can't do right now in this era that we are in right now, you cannot go toe to toe with anybody on social media. That's number one. Number two, and I don't understand why people continue to do this. Do not put your parents in charge of your social media. Because the minute somebody finds out that's your mama, that's your daddy, or whatever, boy, the knives come out and they get beyond disrespectful. And that is not something that you want to deal with. You do not want to have to walk into a game, whatever city, it doesn't matter. You do not want to have to go into a game. You got to have your thoughts focused on what you're supposed to do. And you mad because somebody on Twitter called your mama out her name, disrespected your dad, disrespected your dead uncle or your grandmother or whatever it was. You cannot win in that situation. You cannot win. I don't understand why people still try to do it. They can't win. So, yeah, Art, listen, you must not have saw my video, bro. Go back and watch my video. Go back and watch my video. Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up. Watch my video. I talk about this. I talk about this. Because I talk about everybody concentrated on the neck. No, that wasn't the problem. The problem was her kicking her in the groin. That's where she hurt. That's where she hurt. To me, that was why you need to be suspended. Yes, everybody gonna look at the neck because that was the obvious thing, putting your fist on your neck, and she tried to rub it in and get a little extra in on it, but that's not what did the damage. What did the damage? What's Caitlin Clark dealing with right now? Soft tissue and back. and she kicked her in the groin. When you get kicked in the groin, when you have pain in the adduct, that's the muscle in between your legs, right underneath your private parts. That's the part of your legs that rub together. It's called the adduct. If you go a little bit towards the back of your leg, closer to the hamstrings, those are called the abducts. You got adductors and abductors. Adducts, ADD, is right in the middle. The abductors are more towards the back of your leg, but the adducts is kind of like when you pull a groin, that's all in that area. And if anybody has ever pulled a groin, what is the first thing that happens? You try to compensate because you can't walk right, you can't sit right, you can't stand right, you can't even sit down and take a shit right. So you overcompensate, and what happens? Your back is on fire. That's what happens. Your back is on fire because your lower back is trying to compensate for everything you can't do with your legs. Anybody in the chat, y'all ever lift weights? Anybody else? When you start lifting weights, or when you've been lifting weights and you have a particularly heavy squat day, what happens the day after squat day? And you got to get up and do number 2 in the bathroom. That is the hardest sit down you'll ever have because your legs are sore. It's hard to sit down. You can sit down and then you get to a range where your muscles flex and they are fatigued. So you either gonna fall, you got something to grab onto, but you got to let yourself down gingerly because your legs are so fatigued you can't catch yourself. So what do? Your back fires up because it's trying to stabilize you, and you end up hurting your back. And what has Caitlin Clark been doing since I don't know when? She's been coming out every game. She got that black strap on her back. My guess is that is some type of portable TENS unit with electrical pulses coming out of the back so you can massage the back. I don't know if you guys have ever used a TENS unit. If you were involved in college sports, you know what I'm talking about. That's the little module they put the patches on your ankle or your shoulder or your back, whatever's hurt, and it sends pulses, and it's like it's causing your muscles to flex, and it's basically like a massage. And you use that for like 10 minutes, then you stick your foot in the ice, then you take it out, and then you more muscle stem, more ice, muscle stem, ice. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So check this out. Hold on, let me find this. And I can show this because this is my stuff. There we go. So this, I want people to understand that this is not, it wasn't. All right, so y'all see that? That's the adduct. The inside. That's what Alyssa Thomas is kicking right here. You can see it. You can see this right here. That's what she kicked. So boom, you see that? That's where the injury is. Don't worry about the fist on the neck. That is where she got injured. Because when she went back to the locker room, when she came back, she wasn't holding her neck. She got back issues. She knew what she was doing. Alyssa Thomas knew what the hell she was doing. You think they don't read the injury reports? Come on, son. Anybody if you ever seen somebody put down carpet, you know exactly what she's doing. Look how hard that is. Watch her take this impact. You do not understand how strong your legs are until somebody kicks you. In a situation like that, it don't take much. It don't take much to generate a lot of power, especially when you're talking about professional athletes. So for me, yes, I think Alyssa Thomas probably should have got 2 games. In my opinion, she probably should have got 2 games. And while we here, somebody told me this on Twitter the other day. They were like, let me see if I can. Let me see how fast I ran this back. They was like, look at DeWanna Bonner. Look at DeWanna Bonner. I'm gonna let this play. And that's the other thing I made a point when I did this video. Alyssa Thomas was very close to kind of like kneeing her in the knee. So I don't know. You could kind of say that DeWanna Bonner was trying to knee her in the head too, with them bony knees, but it is what it is. But I guess my thing is, look at it for yourself. Look at it for yourself. That the knee to the groin is the egregious part. I think the fist to the neck got everybody's attention. So yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do, man, and I don't know what kind of effect it's gonna have. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't even know if do they play each other again. I don't know how the people in the league are going to respond. And again, if Kathy Engelbert would have stepped in and did something 2 years ago, they wouldn't be in this situation. I believe that. If she was dropping fines and suspending folks and all of this kind of stuff 2 years ago, then everybody would understand what the deal is. But they don't. People just keep doing the dumb stuff. And this is what you get. This is what you get. So I don't know if it'll get better. I saw Angel Reese complaining about fouls. Did you see what happened in the Chicago game? Camila Cardoso got a foul and she wasn't even in the game. She wasn't even in the game. And they gave her a foul. She was like, what are y'all doing? But I mean, look at this game. They gave what happened? We got a foul. They gave somebody a foul and didn't let Stephanie White check somebody into the game, but they let her go to the line. They should have paused the game and let the substitution happen, but they let the game play even though it was the referee's mistake, and they ended up getting 2 free throws out of it. Like stupid stuff like that. And it's like, you look at these referees, man, they're like, listen, if y'all was just doing your job the way it's supposed to be done, we would not have a lot of these problems. Now it's to the point where, like I said, the WNBA, I shouldn't be waiting for the WNBA to respond. Because most people now, they're looking like, well, let's see what they're going to do. And, it's been few and far between before when the WNBA put out a statement. And then when they do put out statements, it's what they put out. Remember when they put out a statement for when they thought they was yelling the stuff at Angel Reese? And then somebody asked Angel Reese about it. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the coach was like, I haven't heard anything. Somebody saw something on social media, even in this game. One of the YouTube creators, I ain't even gonna mention his name. Y'all know who he is. It's the same dude that be on Jason Whitlock and all of them, both of them. He was at the game, so he posts this stuff out like Caitlin Clark just quit on the team. And I was like, huh? Like, where did you get that from? But it's just like I said before. It's just like you how did I put that? Oh, it's just like if somebody sees you and your wife or you and your husband having a spirited conversation and all they catch is the last 10 seconds before y'all walk in your house And then they go run back and say you and your spouse is getting divorced, or you on the rocks, or you on breakups and stuff like that, because all they got was 10 seconds of a very much longer conversation. And they have no context of what it's about. That's what he did. That's what he did. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? And then, of course, that starts a narrative, and then everybody, they want to look at it. It was like, well, maybe that is happening, and it's like, like, really? That's where we going with this now? I said this before when I was talking about stuff about Jalen Hurts. I said the hate has become the narrative. Everybody wants to run with this narrative. So I'm like, hey, world is yours, bro. Y'all run with it. I don't know. It might. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. All I know is when Caitlin Clark got hurt last year, the viewership went down drastically. And the WNBA does not want that to happen again, because this is the one thing, you got to keep it business. You got to keep it business. When all of those numbers drop, they ain't worried about it now because they paid. They got their contracts in place, all of that type of stuff. So they ain't got to worry about nothing like this, I guess, till the next CBA roll around. But if they can't show the pattern of continued growth, if it's still all based on Caitlin Clark, they still in trouble. And I don't know what's going to happen when Juju Watkins gets here. Everybody wants Juju Watkins to be the star. But guess what? Olivia Miles is mopping up everybody, and they still don't say enough about her. So I don't know what they're going to do about Juju. I don't know what they're going to do with this next crop of stars when you got Juju Watkins, you got Mylasia Fulwiley, and you got Hannah Hidalgo, and you got Sarah Strong, and you got all of these young women coming out that's going to light it on fire. But are they going to get the push that they want? And more importantly, are they going to get the appeal that they're looking for? The hottest player coming out next year for sure is Juju Watkins, without a shadow of a doubt. She's got the talent. She's got the look from SC. Everything is working in her favor. But if they're going to treat Juju Watkins like they do in Caitlin Clark, they got a problem. Because next year, if it's Juju Watkins, it's going to break down all of them stereotypes and all of them conspiracy theories that everybody's been throwing out. They don't want a predominantly black lesbian league to prosper. So they want the straight white girl. And, well, what happens next year when Juju, who is straight, and a black girl, what's going to happen with that? How they going to put, like, everybody's got these criticisms about what the league is or isn't doing, and it is unfounded. It makes zero sense. But everybody, again, the hate becomes a narrative. The hate becomes a narrative. So even the people, and I'm saying this as a Caitlin Clark fan, even the people that champion Caitlin Clark, they go overboard with it. They go overboard with it. I see so many similarities. It's funny. I see so many similarities to Caitlin Clark, Jalen Hurts, and Shedeur Sanders. As weird as that trio, that trio is, it is weird. They have a lot in common because you got people that hate on them for no good reason. If you don't like Caitlin Clark and you think she's overrated and all of that kind of stuff, let it play out. Let it play out. If she's the bottom of the league or the bottom half of the league in stats and all of that kind of stuff at the end of the year, well, then, okay, then you proved it. But everybody talks so much smack, and she still, they talk so much smack about the turnovers. But then she leading in points and she leading in assists. Right? They talked all of that smack about Angel Reese with the rebounds and all that kind of stuff. But she's still getting the rebounds and can't nobody stop her. How come Angel Reese is the only one in WNBA history to get her own putbacks all of a sudden? Nobody else could do that. And every time I bring this topic up, specifically about Angel Reese, I say the same thing. If I'm on the other team and you watch an Angel Reese get her own rebounds for the second and third time, I'm cussing somebody out and sitting their ass on the bench. That's what I'm doing. I guess maybe that's an old school mentality. I guess she's supposed to get on the court and let somebody else get a chance. We ain't kids. Oh, hold on, Angel. Let somebody else get a chance to get a rebound. No. Run it till they stop it. Angel, if you miss 3 times and they let you get the rebound, so be it. Whatever. Somebody stop her. People complain about the craziest stuff. Even when it comes to Caitlin Clark, I know she gets on everybody's nerves with all the crying about the calls and stuff like that. It gets on my nerves too, because I was a coach, and that's the one thing I would tell my kids: don't argue with the refs. Let me do that. You're not going to win that battle. I've never in the history of ever have I seen a ref change his mind because you arguing with him. Let me do that. You just concentrate on what you got to do. If you screw up, there's another play coming. That's what I used to tell my kids. So when I see her bitching and hand palms in the air and all that kind of stuff, it irritates me. I still like her as a player. But that's my personal thing with my experience coaching. And I see it is what it is. But guess what? In spite of all of that, she's still doing more things than anybody else can do. And everybody want to try to, she's, what they say, she's not that good. And I'm like, okay. And the fan base is so, and again, this is everywhere. And this is why I related. I think the situations are very, very similar to like prime example, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has a bad game. Everybody loses their shit in Philadelphia. We need to start looking for another backup. Maybe I need to look in the draft. Just everybody goes overboard. If he wins, it's like, he had a great team. Or it's like, yeah, he won, but you got to do this better. And it's like, same thing up in Cleveland with Shador. They didn't even want to draft him for whatever reason. We all know what that's about. But then he gets in there and then he waits. Then he bides his time and they try to run him through the mud and he's not doing this and he's dividing the locker room and everybody's lying. Everybody that matters is telling folks that they lying. But he waits his time and he gets in there and he does halfway decent with no offensive line. And you got a coach that was now Shador's situation. It seemed like his coach was actively trying to sabotage him because it didn't make no sense, the decisions he was making. But he's gone now. Now he got a new coach that at least for the most part seems like he like him. So maybe he'll get a fair shot. Maybe he'll get a fair shot. The WNBA, they got everything they wanted. Everything they wanted. Even the stuff that they claimed they deserved, but really didn't. They got it because they got this boost of visibility and everybody hated the messenger. To me, that's like somebody giving you $1 million and you bitching because it's $1 million in fives. What's the problem? It's still spending the same. It's funny, man. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And I blame a lot of that. Honestly, I blame most of it on the social media era that we are in. The social media era that we are in has raised a generation of kids that don't do homework, don't understand work, and don't understand or appreciate the situation that they are in. They just don't. They'll never understand the joke about my dad used to always tell me he had to work 5 miles. He had to walk 5 miles to school in the snow with with no boots, and they don't understand them stories. They don't understand them stories because they get on a school bus, or mommy or daddy drops them off to school, or they carpool with somebody, and you 17 years old, and your friend got the Hellcat or got a new Escalade, or they don't have them problems. So their whole situation or their whole makeup is warped because they don't understand work. They just want to give it to them. They just somebody to give it to them. I think that bleeds out into everything we see. That bleeds out into a lot of the fan reactions. The worst thing about social media is everybody got something to say. And I mean that because how many times have you been in a situation with your family, with your circle of friends, when you was in high school, in college, wherever, that you in a situation and it's about 5, 6, 7 of y'all around and y'all all talking about it, and you got that one friend that always says something and everybody looks at him like, man, shut up. Nobody listening to you because you always come up with the dumb shit. Everybody got that friend. Everybody been in that situation. Or you might be that person. So you got all of those people commenting. And I say this all the time. There are a lot of people who have something to say just so they can say, I had something to say. So, Tiff, we do, but the hate for Jalen was happening before AJ got here. And heck, even with AJ here, he's still folks still ain't satisfied. Still ain't satisfied. Fever at Phoenix, July 9th. Okay. I guess what? Let's see what the viewership for that game is going to be. Let's check that out. So it's very interesting, man. It's very interesting. We just saw what Hugh Douglas did with his co-host Joe Giglio on the air when he cussed him out. He said, "I'm so effing tired of this conversation." You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. One of the things that I try to do with my channel is I am not going to pretend like your approval of my opinion is required. It is not. It's okay if you disagree with me. But you guys all know, you guys have been rocking with me long enough. Chris 3K, Tiffany, Art, all y'all. Can you relate? You guys have been rocking with me. Katea's mom. You guys have been rocking with me long enough to know that we grown folks over here. So we gonna have grown folks discussions. And grown folks know that I ain't gonna agree with everything, and that's okay. You can have your own opinion, and you can express that opinion, and we can talk about it. I can agree to disagree, and we can keep it moving. But a lot of these young social media people can't do that. One of the telltale signs that I figured out is when somebody disagrees with you, but they don't have any evidence or any facts to back it up, they immediately get personal. They immediately get personal. It immediately goes to calling names or shut the F up, and it gets toxic, all of that type of stuff. That's a telltale sign for me, and I'm out. Now, while I am not a black belt yet, I did just get like my blue belt in not sending messages. Don't press send. I've gotten better at that because I look at stuff and I'm like, hold on, let me get this person. Nope. Pause. It ain't worth the trouble going back and forth. And they say something, and you say something. Nah. I've gotten very good at just not participating. I don't like Jason Whitlock. I don't like them dudes on YouTube that end up on his show a lot of the times. So you know what? I don't watch Jason Whitlock. Whatever he's doing, God bless you, man. I'm not feeling you, so I don't watch it. I don't partake. I don't take in his content. So a lot of stuff he says, I try to avoid. Now, if I want to address something, then I'm gonna have to watch a video or two or something like that. That's just doing your homework. But I've gotten really good at like, we're not vibing. So clearly you don't like what I'm saying. I don't like what you're saying. So why we can just keep it moving. That's what grown folks do. These kids, these social media kids, they don't want to do that. So what did Mabry do tonight? I missed the game. I haven't watched any game tonight. I'm about to go and watch the recaps. I missed what did Mabry do? Mabry been balling though. I don't like her as a player because she's dirty and all of that kind of stuff, but I can't take away from the game. She's been balling. So let me know what she did. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched any game today. Sports announcer said, hold on. Sports announcer said the coach told them she went to the locker room for back injuries and not to return. Dude, that's if you're talking about like what JTL and them said, that's the first thing I thought of. And I was like, first of all, as long as I've been watching Caitlin Clark, and I've been watching them longer than some of them have, she ain't no quitter. So she's just going all of a sudden, oh, I'm not in the game. I'm going to the locker room. Man, shut up. That don't even make sense. Like, think logically. You just gonna quit on everybody at a game in real time on national television. That doesn't make sense. Think logically. Nobody does that. Everybody wants the clicks. Everybody wants the clickbait. And this dude, the first thing he says is, oh, I was at the game. I saw it. No, you didn't. You got a small piece of a much larger conversation. And just like everybody else, you took your little piece and you ran with it. And all the people that don't want to do homework, just like you, that don't want to do the digging and don't want to vet information, you just ran with it. And you think you got a special edition because you were at the game. No, you don't get that. You don't get that. Don't nobody want to do homework, man. Nobody wants to do homework. It was clear she was talking to Bree January. And Bree January went back to Steph White, went back to the bench, and then Caitlin Clark said whatever she said, and then Bree January went back and told Steph White, like, hey, it don't look like she coming back. And then she went to go get treatment because she was jacked up. So and the funny part is, as demonstrative as Caitlin Clark has been with some of the calls and the decisions that Stephanie White has made, you wouldn't think that she wouldn't have a look on her face if Stephanie White benched her. Come on, man. Come on. Think logically for a minute. Damn. Wait a minute. Who scored 53 points? Hold on. Hold on. Please make this plain to me. Hold on. Make y'all confusing me. Am I incorrect? Are you telling me Marina Mabry scored 53 points tonight? You got to be joking with me, right? Hold on. Let me go. Let me go to ESPN. Wait a minute. What? Are you shitting me? You have got to be kidding me. On the Sparks, she dropped 53? What? 17 of 28, 9 of 18 from 3. Good Lord. 53 points. 10 of 12 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Wow. Are you friggin' kidding me? Marina Mabry, I'm sorry. My apologies. I was not familiar with your game like that, but you've been balling all year, and the pressure is coming on you since Brittany Sykes went down, because that was a nasty duo for a minute. Her and Brittany Sykes, and then Brittany Sykes got the plantar fasciitis. She went down in the game, so now it's just her. Damn, she scored 53. Man, I was about to call you a liar, bro. I was about to call you a liar. I was like, ain't no damn way. Wow. 53 points. Good grief. She tied the WNBA record. Who scored more than that? Who she tied with? I don't know, man, because guess what? Marina Mabry is shooting a hell of a lot better from deep than Caitlin Clark is, for sure. And that's, let me get back to that for a minute, man. That's another thing. I don't understand why people don't understand. You do not have to be the best player to be the most popular player. And I think that was the biggest issue that a lot of these WNBA players had with Caitlin Clark. I said it her rookie year. I don't know why. I don't know why Caitlin Clark had all of this hype coming out of Iowa. I saw it. She kept hitting the logo threes and everything. But you know what? Then she got to the big game, and she had a good game against LSU, but LSU had the better team, and LSU won the title. Then she took Iowa back to the finals, and they ran into the buzzsaw that was South Carolina when they went undefeated. So I saw in real time what Caitlin Clark did at Iowa, the last 2 years at Iowa. I did not watch her sophomore year. But I like everybody else, why was she so special? And the only thing I could come up with, and this is just me, I liken it to, this is my only comp, and this is something personal to me. You might see it different. The way it played out for you is different. A couple years ago, 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was, whenever the Boston Red Sox won the World Series, whatever year that was, every time I turned on television and watched MLB, it seemed like, I know this wasn't the case, but it seemed like every time I turned on the T, David Ortiz hit a home run. Big Papi did something every time I turned on the tube. I kid you not. It had to be like 4 or 5 times. Let me see what the Red Sox doing. Bam, Papi goes yard. Papi goes yard. Papi goes yard again. David Ortiz does it every time. And it was like they can't lose. And every time I turned on to watch the Red Sox, he showed up. Every time. That's what it seemed like. That was my comparison to Caitlin Clark. Was David Ortiz the best ball player in the MLB? Hell no. He wasn't even the best first baseman. But every time it was his turn to make something happen, he made something happen. And that's what happened with Caitlin Clark. That's what happened with her. She had the buzz. She had, and I put it like this because it's very, very difficult to quantify. I don't buy into, they put her up there because she was a white girl and this. I don't buy into all of that, because there's been plenty of other white girls that were much better at basketball than Caitlin Clark, and they didn't get the love or have the appeal or the cachet that she had. So I don't buy that. But it was something, I don't know what to call it other than she had the recipe, period. She had the recipe. Whatever that thing is, she had it. That's as far as I can go with it. I can't understand it. I can't quantify it. I don't know what's in the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices. I just know when I eat the chicken is good. I don't need to know. But I just know that they got it. That's what Caitlin Clark had. And everybody was saying, when they had that first media blitz about Diana Taurasi is, oh, we're going to have to give her grace, and she's going to be coming up against grown women and all that kind of stuff. And she lit their ass up. And Angel did too, for that matter. And it was like all of the people in the league, to me, seemed real petty and real jealous because all the attention was going to her. All of it. Even when the whole thing about the chartered flights came into play. Do you know the reason why the charter flights came into play? The only reason the charter flights came into play was because it became a security risk. It was too many people following them through the airports. That became a security risk. So they had to get charter flights. The WNBA was $40 million in the red. They didn't want to spend $40 million on charter planes. They was already at like a $25 to $30 million loss a year anyways. So they didn't have the money, but they had to do it. It was a security risk. And you know what? A'ja Wilson, for the last 4 years, has been the best player in the WNBA, with a close second to either Breanna Stewart or Fee Collier. Those are the only other people that you can put in that category as being the best in the league. And you know what? Breanna Stewart never made the New York Liberty go to a bigger venue. A'ja Wilson never had any team that they played away at go to a bigger venue. Fee Collier in Minnesota, when they traveled, they never had to go to a bigger venue. All of a sudden, Caitlin Clark coming to town, and everybody done sold out of tickets, and they got to book the bigger venue. Why did that happen? Because clearly, A'ja Wilson is a better player. Clearly, Paige Beckers right now is a better player than Caitlin, in my opinion. So how come when Paige goes to other places, she ain't getting a bigger venue? She just don't have that appeal yet. She might get it, and there's no guarantee that Juju's going to get it when she come out next year. And let me tell you something. Everybody's waiting for Juju Watkins. Everybody's waiting for Juju. But we going to see if she gets the same type of media appeal that Caitlin did. I don't know what that recipe is. I think that Juju got it. I don't know. In my opinion, Paige Beckers is phenomenal. But the reason why a lot of people don't like Paige Beckers is because a lot of people don't really like UConn. UConn in women's basketball is like the Patriots in the NFL. Patriots, it's crazy that for the longest time, when I was coming up and when I was playing football, the Patriots weren't good. The only time I saw the Patriots any good was the year they went to the Super Bowl and lost. That was the year like Irvin Fryer played with them and all of them, and they lost. And then you didn't hear about them no more because the Patriots, they had the worst unis, they had the worst logo. Nobody liked the Patriots. And then they started winning, and now they really don't like the Patriots because they win too much. Same thing. UConn is the same way. UConn in tournament again. UConn won another. Stewie won 4 national championships. 4 in a row. You got a big contingency of people that get sick of people that win all the time. That's why, in my opinion, that's why a lot of people weren't crazy about Paige. And then, of course, you know, you put everybody's own personal prejudices about AZ Fudd and all of that type of stuff. AZ Fudd balling now, ain't nobody got nothing to say. It is what it is, man. So, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I did want to touch about this Eagle stuff real quick. Oh, why I transition? Because I'm done with the WNBA for the night. Let's readjust with our Philadelphia Eagles. You want to do that? Let's do that real quick.
Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Stories of a super runner getting kinda old. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. Calling him uncoachable every single night. AJ in the tray, got me in my field. Mr. Hollywood is the brownest on the field. Man, he ain't calling plays, I be searching for the spark. Eagles flying solo, hunting shadows in the dark. Rabel and Rossini trying to launch a master plan. Ever since the photos got you sitting with the fans. Draft day approaching, how we sitting on this perch. Gotta fill some holes, so you know he's on the search. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Watching out for Cap, cause your boy is bleeding green. Searching through the trending topics, info moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Where the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all.
All right, we can refocus a little bit. You can still hit me with your W questions though. It's all good. We're gonna talk a little bit Eagles now. Hold on, there was one question I just saw. It was about Kelsey Mitchell. Did you play with Jalen Hurts or Jason Kelsey? No, I did not play. I'm old school, bro. I played in 93 and 94. I played with Randall Cunningham, Seth Joyner, Clyde Simmons, Byron Evans, William Thomas, Eric Allen, Mark McMillan, Brian Baldinger, Tim Harris, who else? Herschel Walker, who else? James Joseph, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Keith Millard, William Refrigerator Perry. Yeah, I'm old school, bro. 93, 94. I know I don't look it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm an OG, triple OG, dude. I will be knocking 56 in, let me see, what's today's date? I will be 56 in 3 weeks on July 12. That is my birthday. Me and my twin. I got a twin sister. So I did not play with Jalen Hurts. I did not play with Jason Kelsey, although I am originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I got love for Jason because he went to Cincinnati. So yeah. So, but what did you ask? Crash Out Willie asked, let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell getting isolated last night by the Mercury. Listen, this is what I say about isolation. Everybody gets beat on isolation. Everybody. Nobody's exempt. Everybody gets beat on isolation. Period. You saw what Olivia Miles did to Asia Wilson. And I just said that Asia Wilson is the best player in the league. And you saw what Olivia Miles did to her in isolation. You see what Caitlin Clark does to people in isolation. So it's very difficult for anybody to guard anybody. Every now and then, somebody's going to, their lateral step is going to be fast enough and they got enough hops that they can deflect the pass, or somebody's coming in too hot for the layup. So anybody can get beat in isolation. So that's going to happen. But one of the ones I wanted to, one of the things I wanted to talk about is how the hell Bryce Huff going to be talking trash on Philadelphia fans, bro? What? Bruh, ease up, man. Ease up. Tape don't lie, man. Maybe you were hurt, maybe you weren't. I don't know. I liked you, but it just didn't pan out, man. So how you gonna flex on Philly fans? You mad at us? This is a performance-based business, bro. This is a performance-based business, and you didn't perform. Period. Ain't no hard feelings. It beats like that sometimes. You win some, you lose some. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. Ain't no hard feelings, man. So don't be bringing us into the conversation like we had something to do with what you did on the field or didn't do, or maybe you was pretty good, but unfortunately, there were other people that were better. How about that? So guess what? If you don't want your ring, send it back. We'll give it to one of the fans. They'll appreciate it. But again, you talking about some of these young cats. that think that they can just hop somewhere and go to the Super Bowl and really don't understand how difficult that task is. Come on, son. 13 tackles. 2024. 13 tackles. Come on, bro. Nah. First week of camp for the fans, especially, like they like to take pride into going after people. Come on, dog. You got to understand Philly. Philly, they're gonna talk about you. You was in New York, bro. You was in New York. You know how this sausage is made. We don't play around. But if you show us that you're gonna work and you show us that you're gonna put it down on the field, you can turn that 180 in a hot second. But you didn't. You play like booty cheeks. So don't get mad at the fans. At the end of the day, this is a results-based business, and you didn't get results. Period. Because if you did get results, they would have called you they would have called Howie a brainiac for getting you down here, and they'd have called you the best thing since sliced bread. That's how it rolls here in Philly. If you earn your keep, we ain't got a problem with you. But if you don't, we're gonna call you out. It's that simple. It's that simple. You ain't got no room to talk. Come on, man. Get out your feelings, man. These young cats, what I tell you, these young cats, entitled, and it's everywhere. It's in every sport. It's in every. Oh God, it's like it's just the ick now. Just like, dude, just take your money. You got paid and go on about your business, man. You wanted to start your own corporation or whatever. God bless you. Good luck to you. But don't come trying to talk bad on us because we doing our thing, man. You're like, get out of here. Or just can't. Some people, man. Some people just ain't never satisfied. You know what I mean? Golly. If you'd have had more sacks or more tackles, and see, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. When this stuff like this happens, all right, here's what people need to realize. Just like professional athletes, just like we made it to the top 1% of our class. Okay? We made it where 99.9% of all the other athletes that played football didn't. You made it. And then once you get there, don't think for a second that the coaches that are there don't deserve to be there. Now, you got certain cases with nepotism and favoritism and just the isms in general. There's going to be some people that get edges and some people that should be in places and other people that shouldn't be in places. That's part of the package. But for the most part, most of these coaches know what they're doing. And most of these coaches can figure out when you line up a group of 4 or 5 people at a specific position, they can tell you with no uncertainty that they know who the best player at a position is. They know that. And at the end of the day, regardless of the reason, if you were hurt or not, I don't know. If you were the best player at that position, you would have been playing. I know that much. So come on, man. Let's go. Like, stop acting like, and this is stop acting like coaches want to lose. That's what I hate. And I'm saying that as far as Nick Sirianni, Stephanie White, anybody in that situation. If you are coaching a group of athletes, people must understand the coaches do not want to lose at all. Their job is to put the best people in the position to help them win. Then you got to buckle that down to the assistant coaches because a coach can't be everywhere and you can't see everything at once. That's what you got your assistant coaches for. And their job is to evaluate the talent a little bit closer than the head coach because the head coach has got to see everything. The assistant coaches can concentrate. And if they thought Bryce Huff was the best option to put on the field instead of Jalen Hunt, he would have been there, but he wasn't. I think it was Jalen Hunt, regardless of who it was. Regardless of who it was. So I don't, come on, dog. Come on. Come on. Go on about your business. Do what you got to do. But everybody gets so butthurt. They got to get on the podcast and they got to get to running their mouth. And film don't lie. Tape don't lie. Yeah. It's not hard, Tiff. Not hard. Do your job. Do your job. And we expect you to do it well. And if you don't, we're going to let you know. If you do, we're going to let you know as well. Choice is yours, man. But it didn't work out that way for you. That's cool. That's the game. That's the game. That's the problem with the social media now, man. Everybody want to have something to say, but when you were here, you didn't have nothing to say. You got every reason in the world. If you want to speak up now, speak up. Don't wait till you gone when it don't matter. Yeah, man. See? Ugh. All right, man. I got to get up out of here. I'm landing this plane. I appreciate y'all entertaining my rants and ravings. We went double duty today. We got the WNBA in. We got Eagles talk in. Jalen Carter, he'll get a deal done. Don't even worry about that. He'll get a deal done. Don't sweat it. So I can't wait. I was testing out some more things today. For those of you who don't know, I got a new toy, so I will be using my drone in some of my content. Hey, I'm always trying to get a leg up. So I'm going to get out of here. And as I leave, I will try to play the correct intro this time. But I appreciate y'all. I'm getting out of here, man. Enjoy the rest of the games. Maybe we'll see another 53-pointer. And we are another day closer to Eagles training camp. All right. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Make sure you hype it if you're watching on mobile. And next time you come on board, next time you get in the chat, please, please, please bring a friend. All right. I'm Coach Marcus, and I'm out. I'll holler at y'all later. Go Birds.
Yeah. Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Last year is done, new story getting told. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. They say he's uncoachable, can't get right. AJ in New England, now that deal is done. Lemons got the green light, pick that number one. Benny in the coordinator, put your fears to rest. Patillo playing checkers, why this dude is playing chess. AJ finally traded and the hype train's broke. Rabel's back to coaching and Rosini's catching smoke. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Ain't no time for fakers cause your boy is bleeding green. Sources leaking stories but you know it's all cap. Coach Marcus on the mic and he's shooting all facts. Search trending topics, information moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. When the real ones ball. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all.